fine. Let's just go. Let's just go. So, oh, I watched the VOD from the other day. The thing that I was confused about was when the person from the library gave the dead man's address. He said, "Oh, that's where the smoker lives." No, it was just talking about the apartment building, not the actual apartment. So that's where my confusion was. I thought he was registered as living at the smoker's apartment, and there was some kind of affair going on. Okay, so now we're gonna go. We got the flashlight. Oh, you know what? Let's take the tear. I feel like I have a good amount. It was kind of poor phrasing, looking back on it.
Is this about the questions again?
Oh, why am I talking to you? Oh.
The tear machine. Your bottles clunk.
Only $1.60? A rip-off. Air. Tools. Has Measurehead banned CRT yet? You know what else we can do? Here, have a shot put ball.
I like playing in the... What is this? Are you mocking us? This isn't for pétanque.
Is this an official match or something?
No need to get angry again, René. I'm sure the officer tried his best. It's not like there's a bull kiosk here in Martinez.
And I really did try.
Is worth as much as is accomplished. In this case, almost nothing. Fine. You try to right a wrong. It's still a gram better than actual nothing.
Okay, bye. Jackass. Yeah, we got into the building yesterday, so now we're gonna go hunt ghosts. Can I turn this on and off? No. Ooh, spooky ghosts.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like
Physical instruments. Do I have any kind of clothes that could... I don't think that I have enough. Like, this is gonna... It's gonna hurt me if I mess it up, which I definitely am. Got one. -2 because of allergies. Oh no. Oh my god, this look is awful. This look is really bad. What the hell was I wearing before? Probably that one. Like that jacket. Window panes and debris. This is... Why is there still a headquarters in here? Of any kind. Oh, I can move the flashlight. That's kind of cool. Demijohn? My god, dude. Dude, just... I pressed the fucking button, man. This game is good. My nerves are easily messed with today. Airship rotors. Ooh, it does smell. It smell. Does sound kind of spooky. Wrong sense. A naked mannequin torso. Some money. I'm gonna steal the ghost's money. What are you doing over there?
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural.
It looks like they were running a D&D game in here.
Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin. And
Sleep
even
deprivation,
ether
short fuse,
welkins
yeah.
Hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space.
Exactly what it is.
Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind?
Dude, are those katanas sticking out?
One of the
oh, it's probably
welkins,
a katana and
towering
a shadow.
among the rest, appears to be different, however.
This is important.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a Welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-Welkin races will be purged.
Oh, even the D&D games are
The
racist?
Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with Welkin, Green Welkin, Dread Welkin, and the High Welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little Welkin creatures.
Why would anyone spend so much time
Some
on this?
people really like building a world, I think.
Was
Even
Gygax
if it's
racist?
just for a game. This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real. Political commentary. That one has a great beard too. Just look at those details. So much effort.
And for what? All gone.
All right,
The
photos.
photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the
It's called
dark,
Undermountain.
carcasses and bones.
What color would their skin be? Hoo boy! Striped like a zebra. All black.
Albeit dark and cold,
Yeah, it's a little
this
problematic.
vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat-death scenario, a desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world."
Oh, didn't they make
as the
radio
world becomes
games? This is probably
untethered from
plotting
its
out one of their
sun,
games.
drifting through the universe. This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar,
Solid
only
8.
much
Wow.
more brutal. Everyone is constantly teetering on the edge of the abyss, an abyss of production. These squares look orderly, but beneath them is chaos, worry, pain.
Oh, so we're commenting on game dev now, huh?
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details." The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: Call in, Tune Out, Wirral Untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe. The full text reads, "Heat Death of the Universe is the new black." Another note says, the biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise.
You can probably see the lady that runs the bookstore there, like trying to cast a spell and like will you inside, like buy my books, waving her necklace. You feel compelled to buy them now? You're supposed to.
A dusty radio computer sleeps on its wired frame.
Another radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
You think I should
It's
turn
your
it on?
call. You're in charge of this expedition, officer.
Hell
The
yeah.
machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
Shocked this works. All right, look
It's
inside.
empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected.
This is where the memory should go.
Play.
Nothing happens.
Right.
Nothing happens.
Okay, let's play again.
Nothing happens.
All right, now leave. Emma's okay. Well, I missed something back there apparently. What was that? Oh, production schedule.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient.
Okay.
A diagram for summoning some time-forgotten being. The symbols seem very esoteric. Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
What happened to 123.8? Wasn't good enough?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
The anatomy of the curse.
Perhaps. The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. Looks like a surveillance program.
Who's the game
Someone
master?
very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people.
Who's
Whoever
playing?
decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Il Mara. All of this is gone, left unrealized. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
They had big dreams.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Most advanced RPG in the universe.
Okay.
What do you have to
What
say,
do you
Kim?
think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
Yeah, I think this is the game studio.
Yes, I got that. What I meant was, what were they trying to achieve with this damn game?
Fun.
What were their ambitions? Because this here looks rather advanced.
Oh, they were trying to start a race war, weren't
He has
they?
respect
That was it.
and curiosity for this failed endeavor. This is way above your tiny little policeman head.
Okay, well, I think. It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
Kim has a level of respect that makes me think that he plays these games. Anyone ever done that before? Probably, nah.
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
So people have done it before. What are you
But I
talking
don't
about?
think anyone has attempted to create an interisolary game
Oh,
before.
okay.
We just don't have the technology. Through call-in stations, none of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
His fascination has swept aside other concerns for the moment. He's a little hooked.
Role-playing
Indeed,
game?
those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the We World board game, with hit death thrown in.
What do you think happened? I mean, obviously they went
No idea.
bankrupt.
They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Wow.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but
Let's finish it. Oh my god. Sure.
it's too late for that, I'm afraid.
I know, that's the only reason I picked it.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Is that a big statue of a bear? With red eyes too, huh? Oh, is that the fridge?
You see
That's
a
awesome.
terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red. This ice bear is a hyper-carnivore. Be careful. This must be the giant ice bear fridge that Suna mentioned. Look inside.
I assumed that was just a brand.
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
It's a fridge.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. Let's take a look inside.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
It is pretty cool.
But where's the filament memory? It's not here.
Shit. Take the
You
note.
pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Someone must have taken it. What does the note say?
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper.
Big
It looks
enough to fit a
nothing
body.
like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate.
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
Yeah, that's probably why businesses keep going under in this building. They keep having to pay for all this electricity.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
Well, it didn't have the offsite copy. They got an ice cream maker too, fancy. Do it. Why guns?
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Hell
Your
yeah.
hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away. Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest. But one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others. Take it. You're a police officer. Police officers carry guns.
Well, now I don't have the option to not take
That's
it,
a rare
so.
sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
What does this
It
mean?
means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
A few bricks have fallen off.
Okay. Well, I have a gun. What else did I find? God, that looks like something out of another game. I forget. Maybe The Order. That was a really bad game. Get the filament. Can I interact with it? No. Contains information that can be read using a radio computer. Oh, okay. We could take that back to the radio computer. Yeah, it does have a bit of that steampunk vibe. Alright, let's go back to the radio computer first before we keep moving. If I can figure out how to move through here. How many times are you gonna make me press X on everything that I'm trying to select?
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony. It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness,
Alright, have a good
you
one,
can
Company
hear
Nudes.
chatter is coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs. The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them.
What are you doing?
You can
Wait,
hear someone?
Really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
Let's yell.
Something breaks loose in
Oh,
you.
12.
A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
you've awakened the entity.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Radio computer first. Maybe that'll tell us what we need to know.
Tiles on the cube are
Insert
like a
the production
smooth draw.
schedule.
The filament slides into place. On the keyboard,
Press
the
play.
speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's playing a magnet.
Good evening. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeat Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? Good. Please repeat the password.
Is it this one?
Good.
Oh, okay.
I've unlocked the production schedule. After ending the call,
You thought the
press
hello was a
one to
loudspeaker near the
access
red light?
element.
Really? She just used the same password?
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I
Let's
can do
try
for you today?
guest.
Thank you.
No
And good
way.
day.
Tiles on the cube, the
Alright.
filament slides. nothing happens.
Oh shit! I gotta insert it again, didn't I? I didn't. I
Nothing
press.
happens.
I
Like a
took it out
smooth draw,
first.
the filament slides. Nothing happens. The speaker.
Good evening. Please repeat. Good. Good.
Really?
Fortress accident. Thank you.
Tiles on the cube are
Print.
with a quiet
There we go.
determination.
Wrong order.
The printer starts print. It's a project report written by the lead producer, Andrew Andy Schott, about Whirl Untethered, a radio game developed by Studio Fortress Accident. The first few pages give an overview of the capital and workforce, while the rest of it seems to be a production schedule. In
Capital.
its short time of existence, Fortress Accident SCA managed to burn through truly insane amounts of money. The first tranche of seed financing brought in 150,000 Riyal, but then came the delays.
Not the delays.
Eventually, the damage reached 400,000 Riyal, with only half of the game finished. 400,000 Riyal? Yo. These guys
Yo, my
went
yo.
out to party. Let's just say it was a real adventure for their Igaunian investor.
The workforce.
Fortress Accident employed 18 people, the bulk of the team composed of writers and concept artists. There were also radio programmers, sound engineers, a CEO, 2 marketing experts, and a single overburdened producer who developed a habit of popping Pyrrolidon in the basement to escape his obligations. But on the other hand, their obligations were piling up at an inhumane rate, a rate that could only be amended by Pyrrolidon.
Production
The
schedule.
production schedule depicts their glorious descent into bankruptcy.
What
It
happened?
was impossible not to fail. The project was too large, and no amount of money could satiate the ever-expanding ambitions of the development team. They tried to make a 4 million Rial game with 400,000 in their bank account. They thought they could bridge the gap with pure willpower and imagination. They couldn't. No. Even then, success remained within an ever-narrowing margin of possibility that, despite everything, never entirely disappeared. That is until they discovered the Valley of the Heads.
What now?
At the 11th hour, the lead designer, Jimsk-born Suliswav Jalisa, decided that what Whirl Untethered needed was a secret mystical location at the extreme edge of the map. This place was to be the Valley of the Heads, where the heads of all the headless constructs could be found. The player would have been able to choose a head for their headless party member, and each head would have been voiced on air by a professional actor.
How many were there?
So many. The last count, there were approximately 10,000 heads for 10,000 headless men, all of which could be endlessly recombined.
How many combinations?
Do you really want to know? There seems to be a calculation here, but it may take a while.
Sure. Impressive. Oh my god, it's still going.
The lieutenant taps his foot impatiently, his arms folded tight against his chest. He's dying for a cigarette. Come to think of it, you are too.
Oh my god.
What if you broke the radio computer? What if it's never going to stop?
Just let them wash over you, man. Hey, we got zeros.
Well, yeah, that and the catastrophic data loss.
Anomaly Suna
On the
mentioned.
nature of the data loss, there's ominously little information in the production log. It comes at the very end, where things get fuzzy and dark, where tables and numbers seem to vanish into an eerie nothingness, before the Igaunian investors pulled the plug. What is clear is that one day, an unidentified numeric anomaly occurred on the East Insulindian Lintel front, just as the Whirl Untethered project was being compiled that day.
Okay.
When the project was returned, it was completely blank. The team spent weeks on the phone with Lintel, the service provider, but despite their diagnostics, they could never produce a satisfactory explanation or pay for the loss. Mysteriously enough, it seems that the offsite copy happened to be onsite when the catastrophic data loss occurred.
Yeah.
It was the lead programmer's responsibility to oversee weekly maintenance of the offsite copy and, well, keep it offsite. An explanatory note from the lead programmer has been attached.
What does it say? Probably like whoopsie daisies.
S. Lukanen Kilda, the lead programmer of Fortress Accident. The offsite copy was onsite because there was no offsite anymore. Not for me, not after 8 months of crunch. I didn't have a home anymore.
Wow.
So I started keeping it in the basement in the ice bear refrigerator near where I went to sleep. It was perfectly safe there. The temperature conditions were optimal.
Perfectly
That's
reasonable.
not what her colleagues thought. The
Anything
production
else?
schedule ends with a few random notes that seem to be added sometime later.
All right, let's read
4
them.
months later, by an unknown author. I am the only one left, and it's gotten rather damp here. A few
It's probably
other
Tsuna.
businesses have gone under, too. Slipstream switched to making skis, and the hairdressers just left, cursing Martinez. They're right, though. Something's seriously wrong with this place. Martinez, all of it. Still haven't got an answer from Lintel about what happened. All I could get were the physical coordinates of the error on the East Insulindian front on that day. Since the computation happened on air, I reckoned it had to coincide with an actually existing location. I have compared the coordinates to a map of Revachol West. Turns out it's only 800 meters from here. The address is Saint-Brun 1147. I am going there to look this thing in the eye. Saint-Brun 1147? That's what the street sign next to the church said. Tiles on the cube are still smoldering.
Okay. We can go back.
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
I don't see any reason to unplug any of them quite yet. Insane mesh tank top? Okay, hang on. We need to see how insane this is. +1 drama. Oh, that's the breaker box. Okay. Where does this lead? Oh, now we're out here again. Lady, there's no ghost in there.
You're alive and well.
They just shine that
Don't keep me
right in her
waiting
face.
now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus? Yes, yes. How was it?
A dump.
But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
You don't have anything of substance to tell her until you found that entity of hers.
Oh, I wonder if it's the person talking. So how do we... What is that connected to then? How do we get there? Throw it right back in her awful face. Oh. Can I... Is it back in here? change your mind? You had a thought there and then you decided no? What was that about? There we go. Super important. Just move. Just move. I don't have any patience today. Just move. Oh, here we go. Is that the entity? It's like just a regular person. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. The floorboards creak. Yep. What's that? Oh, another postcard. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Nia.
Bird-like woman.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius. So what kind of die are you looking for?
You're just a dice maker? You're just making dice?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
I haven't knocked on your window.
How did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind? Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking. I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong. Role-playing games?
Okay.
You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Sure. Take some
Very
dice.
good. My rate is 10 real per set, unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
How did you become a dice
How
maker?
did I become one?
Aram?
It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
You like them yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Most extraordinary.
A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure?
Got money. Sure.
Yes, you definitely have the proper attitude. How about a pair of 100-sided dice, made of ivory and inlaid with lodestone, a naturally occurring magnet to complement your magnetic personality?
Oh, you flatterer.
10 real, and I can get these ready in 8 hours.
It's a
Great.
deal.
See you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
You know about the man who was lynched?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here. The lieutenant looks at his notebook.
Yeah, she's a good
The
saleswoman.
woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, Detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean by the daily ruckus?
There's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
I get it.
It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
Thanks.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Where are we?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
You're just squatting.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse. Does it mean she's unlawfully occupying a part of
Yeah, I don't want her to get evicted.
Shameful.
Creative.
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Plaisance sent me.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow?
Hardly any customers.
Right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Customers are have trouble paying bills. You're right.
And then there is me. I've been here for 14
years?
selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts.
I'm sorry, 14
Not
years that
exactly
you
a
haven't had to
million
pay
real
rent?
business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies.
Probably because you don't pay rent.
Isn't it?
It's because she's in cahoots with the
Oh my
demons.
god. Yeah, it's because you're... There's many inconsistencies.
I was just about to ask, what do you think?
The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity. Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
No, there's no curse.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
The bookstore closes starting 2100.
Shit!
You'll have to do that tomorrow.
You know what happened to other tenants?
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Hair salon.
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando. or
Androgynous
something similar.
Orlando.
They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
Cowards.
You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you. It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
The
It
gym.
wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A
Artemitep.
community project
Oh.
created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
No, it didn't work for Kuno, apparently. That's what Kuno needs, yeah.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
Little ginger gremlin.
Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
How did that work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point,
You're
someone
offended.
started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
You should have known it.
I mean, Kuno is a little gremlin.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What about the windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right?
So come here.
Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milius.
Wait, snuff
would have
milieu? So they
guessed?
were killing people on the radio?
And they
Okay.
never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea.
Wait, are
how
they
to get
actually
rid of
killing people, or
on
was
my
it like
own.
a ploy?
It's a Sub Rosa radio station that broadcasts
Real murders.
real murders with real victims.
Okay.
What does she mean to get off on it?
I think I know what she means.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Oh, thank God.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
Stuffed
You
animals?
mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
I used to do drugs. Still do, but I used to too.
But what drugs exactly?
Let it pass.
Anything else?
Creepy
There
mannequins.
used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years until the insect rights activists came.
Insect rights activists.
Mm-hmm. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials.
Mm.
Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. Actually, insects do have brains, but yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little too far.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her.
Gross.
Legs up. They're not moving.
Anything else?
Rotor blades.
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
What do they say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
Okay, strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
Accident with a liberal?
The usual. they ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
Okay.
Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
Pretty impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain.
You also identify
a lot
as
about
chronically liberal.
capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
My eyes bugging me.
She's right. Showing up to work on time is important. Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
It is incredibly
And
hard.
so it's producing something extraordinary.
Something strains her face before she looks up again.
Anything else? Oh boy,
Fair.
the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here.
Literally.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Okay, what were their other
There
ideas?
was really just one. And it
a
involved
bear.
picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying
Oh,
them
okay.
20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Fritta does the same thing.
I know a girl just like that.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revachol ICT. And they already had the bear.
What about the bear?
The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
5 cents a piece. I would eat like 10 a day. Sure.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who
Okay.
he said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherian.
Scary, but cool.
Megatherian?
Megatherian, a mega wild beast.
What's a mega wild
It's
beast?
an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
A wise
think I got
and
one of those.
noble beast, guiding you toward the land where the streets are paved with drugs. The horrific necktie tightens
boy.
around your neck, strangely excited. But it doesn't feel particularly fun this time around.
Not now, you beast.
What?
Nothing.
Right. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
The temperature has dropped in the cover of the night.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps?
The intercom.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires.
Still in the middle. You've been
Sorry
here for
about the
14
confusion.
years.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
Empty
That's
name card?
right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
Alright, what about the
You
Whirlingen?
could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
East Delta Pinball.
Right, it used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick track, especially pinball.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
What's wrong with pinball?
His disdain for pinball could not be clearer.
Slipstream,
It
someone
can't be
answered.
true. They don't work here anymore. Are you sure it was Slipstream SEA? Was it a woman?
Tricentennial Electrics. I don't remember. This was hours of gameplay ago that I don't totally remember.
Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
No, it was something else. It was eerie. Whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
Alright.
Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
A few more
Sure,
questions.
I'm listening.
Other
Good.
questions?
I hope it clarified things a bit. What else? I'm
Building?
listening.
Gotcha. Okay. Other
Good.
questions?
I hope it clarified things
I think
a
we're
bit.
good. Can't I
What
want to
else?
ask her about the dang backup copy that's missing. Alright, whatever. Probably time to move on. Maybe head to bed. Something I would like to do in real life. Ah, bookstore is closed. Right. So Plaisance probably thinks I'm dead now. Say. Went in there and then she had to close, and so she locked me in here. Okay, let's take a look at the tasks here. Items they get. That was just the postcard, I think. Okay. Tomorrow we need to pick up dice. Talk to Plaisance. 8 hours. Okay. You sure to have some money? I've got money. Alright. I'm gonna head back to the other side of the coast, which I think is down here. What's that? What? You identify as a page 3 girl. Time to bait some traps, huh? Can I do this at night?
The trap stands empty amongst the reeds. No insect sounds or movement. The locusts, dazed from being transported. They're not really going to get...
Good. Now that's done. When do you... Don't answer that.
He doesn't want to. But if there is one more crypto...
I wonder if it's just like if the cryptozoological thing just never ends if you don't make them face reality that there is no mythical creature. Just sends you on a runaround for the entirety of the game. Blind Kim, we gotta find more traps. Got 3 more, right? There it is. Good use of taxpayer money. It's not the most pointless thing I've ever done, I think.
Stopped now, and still no sight of the phasmid. Return.
Wait, all of them are stocked? What? I got 2 of them. Oh, because only one of them. Right. Because only one of them was empty. The rest still had the bait in them. Oh, okay. Fucking guys. God, they're still keeping her outside. Makes me angry. All right, which place is mine? Is it this one?
It's getting cold. This late in the night. Time to call it a day.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good
night,
idea.
Officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
All right.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection in it. The expression fixed to your clean-shaven face.
Encyclopedia 2. Do I have any encyclopedia bonus items? Oh, there we go. See if we can
An old
find.
mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection in it. Like the rest of you,
Dang,
it
we
comes
used that
from
12.
a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now.
It's why didn't it show the dice? It's kind of weird. All right. That one
The bed
seems
is
comforting,
rigged.
rigged.
If a bit run down.
Hotel doesn't
Still,
want me back.
you've
Hotel
earned the
costs
rest.
money. This place is free. Why would I go pay $20? Instead, I'll stay in this cozy place instead of that trashed hotel room. Go to bed.
Across the room.
Seems like an
the
easy
heating system
choice.
hums its soft lullaby.
Well, I never checked
the mattress
out.
feels soft and sheets warm. It only takes you moments for the world to fall away.
Thoughts, baby.
Oh boy.
A million little lights in the dark. You're one fine instrument, brother. All those faces and all those names. All that laughter and screaming and scheming around. Every corner and every street.
Recorded in you forever on ferrotape.
On and on it goes, for untold hours. At the disco where you first asked her to dance. Rising, rising, above the dark curvature, the great wingspan of sleep, studded with stars.
Behold, there are millions of them down there.
I love this narrator.
The first time, the last time, The smoke in her mouth. The plotted flowers. The faces turning, changing.
It's the world, Harry boy, and you're made of it. Every day you're out there, you make more of yourself from it. I'm afraid you can't be unmade now.
Okay.
You can never forget this shit.
Publishing in novel form. Well, but then you don't have the choices to make. Colors the voices.
All stuck on loop. Whirling, spitting out words and images.
That's the one flaw.
You're the son of the world.
Is it based on a novel?
Harrister, a ceaseless agent, picking up litter and old newspapers.
Inspired
collecting
by
your
Infinity
little
Engine era
bubblegum
games,
wrappers
particularly
and idiotic
Planescape
picture
Torment.
postcards. Meaningless keepsakes.
Son of the world again, a ceaseless agent picking up litter in old newspapers, blah, blah, blah.
Reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you? The endless names of the world. An address book you are. The map of a city.
Wait. Developed by ZAUM, company founded in 2016 by Estonian novelist Robert Kurvitz, who served as the game's lead writer and designer. Since 2001, had been part of a band called Ultramelanhool. Struggling for finances, conceived of a fictional world during a drunken evening while listening to Tiesto's Adagio for Strings. Feeling they had a solid idea, the group created a collective of artists and musicians, which included oil painter Alexander Rostov, who expanded upon the work of that night and developed a tabletop RPG based on Dungeons & Dragons on the steampunk-like concept. During this period, met Estonian author Kaur Kender, who helped him to write a novel set in this world called Sacred and Terrible Air. Published in 2013, only sold about 1,000 copies. Kurvitz fell into a period of depression and alcoholism for about 3 years following the book's failing. It sounds like these guys are just Harry IRL. Misa. All right. Reading your awful letters, recalling things, endless names of the world, an address book. You are the map of a city. I am an agent of the world. What if I want to be the agent of nothing? I am an agent of the world.
You'll go insane if you keep going like this. One more day, and you'll be in the loony bin. I just know you will. And for what, brother man?
For the working class. For the money, baby.
Solving your little crossword puzzles. Doing your tasks. Crossing names off lists. Trying to become some sort of world detector. It won't make it okay. It won't put smoke back in her mouth.
Uh-oh. I did something really bad, didn't I?
There he goes again. He's a real political animal, Harry.
Maybe so.
He
We're not done yet, though.
doesn't see that it's the world changing around him.
That is like the opposite of what's written.
He's got no idea what he's in for.
Feel the pillow.
Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing, Harry. The disco circus goes on and on. You barely slept 3 hours last night.
Great.
Do it for the wind. Rise and shine, comrade. It's time to get to work. Despite all the thinking you've been doing, only 0.0001% of communism has been built.
It's a start.
It's too great a task to undertake alone. You're going to have to get organized.
Man, I've really gotten it together.
It's good that your personal business is in order, but we're talking about political matters of world historical import here. You must seek out your revolutionary brothers and sisters. Find out how much communism they've built. Then, together, maybe you'll be able to build as much as 0.0002% of communism. But it won't be easy. Decades of persecution by coalition authorities have driven the remaining communists of Martinaise underground. They live underground. These communists aren't men. They're mole people.
I'm looking up the book now.
Let your nose guide you, detective. Yes, fortunately, communists are known to have a very distinct smell. We really have no idea what they're talking about. There's no linkage between ideology and olfaction.
What does communism smell
Failure.
like? What does failure
It's
smell
a
like?
smell you know all too well. Simultaneously
Screamy
repulsive
cat in the cat
and yet
thread? No, I'll check it
darkly
out.
appealing. Musty with a sharp tang, but also a remnant of lost sweetness. Like a rotting mango that's been swaddled in a coat from your grandfather's attic.
It's a friend of yours, cat.
What you're smelling is your own body odor, of course. Nothing a shower and change of clothes couldn't fix. People sometimes complain there are no real communists left in Martinaise. But you can smell their presence. They're out there, waiting for you to join them. Incidentally, during the waning days of the anti-centennial revolution, a number of Revacholian communards constructed elaborate
Dude, I just want to go to
hideouts in
work,
abandoned
man.
root cellars.
Why is there
Hollowed out
always like
tree
just
trunks
some
and even residential
long
sewage
nonsensical thing?
This latter phenomenon gave rise to the early anti-communist slogan, "The future's bright when you flush out the white."
All right.
First, you'll have to locate the remaining communists in Martinaise. When you get near to someone with revolutionary potential, your nose will give you the signal to establish
It's like the
contact.
Korok masks in Breath of the Wild, but for
Again,
communists.
No, it won't. Any olfactory response you perceive will be strictly psychosomatic. You should begin by interrogating those lawless malcontents at the Dock Workers Union. They're an obvious place to start. Here
Let's
we go.
do it.
Wake, brave worker. 'Tis no time for bed. Fight till there's no slaves below, and no masters o'erhead.
All right. We must organize. Quick save. Go back to the menu. Call it a day. I gotta get going. Is the game saying you smell of communism? It's saying that you can locate communists by how they smell. Because they smell like failure, is what it said. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out this morning. That's gonna do it for me. We'll do more Disco Elysium tomorrow morning. Again, hopefully with more sleep. I was hoping to have more sleep this morning, but we all know how that worked out. Maybe next time. Thank you guys for hanging out. Have a wonderful rest of your day.